All right, unnecessary, insane. Yes, you're a good baby. Yeah. See if you can let all those thoughts in your head just melt away. Let them rush by like a train on track. Continue to breathe through those wings of fall swirling around you. We do a few rounds of lion's breath together. So when you're ready, we'll inhale nice and big through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth, sticking out your tongue. Do more like that. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. One more, inhaling, and exhaling. Gently opening your eyes or raising your gaze. You can lift your hands up, maybe do some rollouts in your wrists, just some nice, gentle wrist rolls in both directions, making sure to oil up those joints. Can you not? Hi, thank you. Good boy. Boy. And when you're ready, you can rest your arms down and take that movement, move it to your shoulders, and we'll do some nice shoulder rolls. Like you're shrugging up and then letting the shoulders fall away. And make sure you do that as forward and backwards. When you're ready, you can come to stillness here, and we'll make circles with our chin for our neck rolls. Make big circles in the air with your chin. Do about 3 or 4 in either direction. If your circles are crunchy, you can always make smaller circles. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears. And when you're ready, you can come back to stillness. We'll make a big T with the arms. Starting with a nice giant hug. It doesn't matter which arm's on top. We'll do both. You can walk your fingertips towards your shoulder blades to wrap around if you'd like. Lift those shoulders up towards the ears and let them relax down. On your next inhale, make a nice big T again. Exhale, cross the opposite arm over top. Walk those fingertips back if that's available to you. Scrunch those shoulders up towards the ears and let them fall down your back. On your next inhale, make a nice big T again. This time we'll make our wrists nice and straight, nice and angle, nice and 9-degree angle. Lift your hands up like this. If this is difficult for you, you can always bend your fingers or make fists. And just rotate from your shoulder blades all the way down to the rest of the arm. And then you can come to stillness here. We'll make cartoon cactus arm, or I guess cartoon fists. What is biceps? We'll make nice big biceps here. We'll do robot arms, taking that one arm down and then switching which one's up, flexing your biceps at each top. I'm gonna come up with something for this, like muscle man arms or something. Muscle lady arms. The fabulous moolah arms. All right, come back to your cartoon cactus arms. We'll do nice wide palms here. Check in with your elbows. Make sure they're shooting out from your shoulders. Check in with your ribs, make sure they're not sticking out. Nice deep breath here. On your exhale, raise those arms into the air. Take a nice deep inhale here. Then we'll exhale down to one side, placing that hand on the mat, reaching the opposite arm over top. Option to take this arm on the mat down to your forearm, or maybe just walk your fingertips out a little wider if you'd like to, some length. From here, we'll inhale back to center, exhale back down to the other side, placing your hand or forearm onto the mat, reaching that opposite arm over top, pressing both sit bones into the mat. Your next inhale will come back up to center. Exhale, gently fold forward. You don't have to go too far. You can bring your hands down to the mat. Have a nice long line in your back. On your exhales, you can gently walk a little forward if you'd like. On your next inhale, we'll come back up to center. Place your hands back behind you, fingertips pointing towards the back, thumbs pointing out to the side, and just shine your chest towards the ceiling. Lifting that chin up. Try not to cranking your neck, but just lifting it back. From here, we'll come back to our center. Release your knees out front, giving them a little shake out. When you come to stillness, you can flex your feet and point your toes a couple times. You can do circles in your ankles. There's nothing there. Circles in your ankles. When you're ready to come back to stillness, find that nice long line in your spine again. We'll lift the hands into the air. This time we'll come forward a little bit further. You can place your hands on your shins, your ankles, or your feet, whatever is available to you. And think more about having a straight line in the back than trying to get forward. You can flex your feet here. That gives you more space. And you can stretch your calves if your feet are flexed. On your next exhale, you can put a small rounding in your back. Come back up to a seated position. This time we'll take our left leg. We'll bend our knee and bring our foot in nice and tight, like we were going to do a really intense tree pose. So bring that heel in as close to your hip as possible. And we'll start by adjusting our hips so that we are parallel to that extended foot. Inhale the arms into the air and exhale down. Again, keep a nice straight back. I always want to round in my back, but I don't need to do it. And your hands can be at your shin, your ankle, or on your foot. Feet flexed here for a slight calf stretch. If you're like me and you like to overextend your joints, you can put a slight bend in that knee. That'll help you stretch the actual muscle instead of putting all the pressure onto the joint. Come back up to a seated position. This time, make sure your hips are square towards the side of the mat, like you're gonna fold forward here. We'll come up with the arms again, but this time we'll just bring our arm onto our extended leg. If it's more comfortable for you to actually adjust your body so you're towards that bent leg and then go down, that's probably a lot better actually. Adjust your body so you're towards your bent leg, lift your arms up and then move to the side, placing your arm on that extended leg. Your upper arm can be reaching over top, it could be reaching into the sky. I find that reaching it over top gives me a really intense stretch in my intercostal muscles, in my ribs. And on your next inhale, come back to center. We'll adjust our hips towards the center, and this time we'll just fold forward down to the ground in the middle of the leg. Inhale back up. We'll do a nice quick adjustment towards that bent knee. We'll do a nice gentle fold towards the bent knee. If your sit bone comes up, pop it back down. Come back up to a seated position. And we'll switch the legs. Bending that opposite leg in toward a really extreme tree pose, as close as you can to your hips. Starting by adjusting our hips toward our extended leg, inhaling the arms in the air and exhaling to fold forward. Nice straight back. Your hands can be on your shin, your ankle, or your toes, whatever's most comfortable for you. Imagine your forehead is being pulled toward your shin. Again, you can always put a slight bend in the knee if you feel the pressure on your joint instead of your actual muscle. On your next inhale, we'll come back to center. We'll lift the arms. You're okay. And then we'll gently come down in the center here. No need to bend in the back, just nice straight back. Inhale up into the air. We'll rotate towards that bent knee. This time we'll lift our arms into the air and we'll drop that same arm as leg down, the extended leg. Reach that arm over top. You can slightly shine your chest towards the ceiling. You can leave that arm up in the air if you find the stretch maybe too intense on those rib intercostal muscles. On your next inhale, we'll come back to the air, do a nice little gentle little bend over that bent knee. When your sit bone comes up, pop it back up, come back to a seated position. We'll bring both knees in to kind of a butterfly pose. Your heels can be either like 3 fists width from your hips, or you can do like 5 to 7 from your hips, whatever's most comfortable for you. Elongate that back in just one of 2 ways. You can elongate your arms into the air and come forward over your feet. However, this is really intense in the inner thigh area. So you can always leave your arms on your feet and just gently fold forward. That way you can really support your legs with your arms and not fold too far, keeping that back nice and straight. And when you're ready, we'll come back up to a seated pose, and you can meet me in tabletop pose on the center of the mat. I'm going to see if this. Oh, that's fine. Coming into tabletop, we'll lift the left arm into the air for a nice gentle twist. My skin. Go ahead and thread that needle under. Place the outside of the shoulder onto the mat. You can elongate the opposite leg and arm if you'd like. On your next exhale, bring that hand and arm back, shoot that arm back up for our twist, and come back down to our tabletop pose. On your next inhale, we'll lift the opposite arm into the air for a tabletop twist. Breathing here. Exhaling, threading that needle under, placing the outside of the shoulder onto the mat, elongating the opposite arm and leg. Breathing here. On your next exhale, bring your hand and knee back. Bring that arm back up into your twist and come back down for tabletop pose. From here, make sure your feet are flat on the mat. We're going to come down and place our bottom on the heels. If this is not comfortable for you, you can always tuck the toes under, come in like this. That might be more uncomfortable. You can always adjust your stance any way that makes you comfortable. We're just going to do a quick, gentle twist from here. So you can bring your arms out deep. Well, let's bring them up above our head. And then on the exhale, let's bring the left arm to the right side and the right arm back behind you. You just gently touch your hip here. You can have your arm stretched out in front of you. You can try to grab your shoulder with it. We're just twisting from the midsection here. On your next inhale, we'll bring both arms up to the center again. And exhale to the opposite side, placing that opposite arm behind you, really twisting from the midsection and placing your arm wherever is comfortable. And on your next exhale, you can come back to the center. We'll come back to tabletop pose. Give your hips a little shake out back and forth. We'll tuck the toes under. And when you're ready, you can press up into downward facing dog. You can pedal out through the feet here. Really feel that nice, juicy stretch in the back of the calf. Can even take that pedaling out motion to the whole body. Maybe move your hips and shoulder as you pedal in the back of the calf. Your hips can be as wide or as narrow, your feet can be as wide as narrow as you'd like here. On your next inhale, lift those heels nice and high into the air, and then exhale, bring them back down to the mat. Press those sit bones into the sky. And really press your hands down into the mat. Take a nice deep breath here. On your next inhale, we'll roll forward to plank pose. Making any adjustments you may need in plank. Remembering not to have your pelvis sticking out, but tucking it under. On your next exhale, press back to downward facing dog. See if your plank adjustments make sense in down dog. You need to readjust that for downward facing dog. Nice big inhale here. And exhale for plank pose. From here, we'll lift the right leg into the air. Drop it back down to the, drop it back down, hover it above the mat. Lift, bring it down, lift, bring it down. Two more, lift, down, lift, down. On your next exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Nice big breath here. On your next inhale, roll forward to plank. And we'll lift the opposite foot in the air. 3 more times, 2 more times, 1 more time, and then just 1 more. Press that leg back down, pressing back to downward facing dog. On your next exhale, we're gonna roll forward to plank, option to drop one knee down and come into your supported side plank. If you're feeling very strong in your supported side plank, you can take that knee that you bent and bring it up off the mat to join the other for a nice side plank. On your next exhale, come back to your plank. We'll push back to downward facing dog. Nice deep breath here. Rolling forward to plank. Again, option to drop that knee and swing into a supported side plank. If you're feeling nice and secure here, you can just bring that bottom leg up to a side plank. On your next exhale, come back into your plank pose, and then push back to downward facing dog. On your next exhale, you can hop or step forward through a forward fold at the front of the mat. So your first forward fold can be folded as deeply or shallowly as you'd like, my bud. Your knees can be bent or straight. But just imagine both halves of your body melting into the floor. On your next inhale, you can place both hands on your shins, come to a nice long flat back. Breathing here for a few breaths. And we'll exhale, rolling forward into your forward fold. Options to go a little bit deeper this time with your fold. On your next inhale, you can gently roll up to stand. So you're in a mountain pose at the front of the mat. Standing in mountain pose. Feel your breath. Inhaling through your nostrils. Exhaling through your nostrils. Feel the bottom four corners of the feet all making contact with the mat. Lift up in those arches so that you're not falling into your center of your feet. Insoles. Make sure you've got a nice sturdy base. Option to place your hands on your hips here. We're just going to do a nice gentle tuck and tilt of the pelvis. I like to put one hand on my belly and one hand on my sacrum. But just gently tucking and tilting the pelvis here. And then when you're ready and come to stillness, we're just going to go from side to side, just moving the hips from side to side. Maybe a gentle bend in the knee can help. And when you've had enough of that, we're going to put both of those motions together and we'll just make nice big triangle diamonds, nice big diamond shapes with our hips. Going forward, to the left, behind, to the right. Forward, left, behind, right. And when you've done that a few times, just go ahead and smooth out the movement. Try to keep your knees to a minimum. Try to really move in those hips. And when you're ready to come to stillness, we'll go the opposite way, tilting forward and to the right, back, left, forward, right, back, left, forward. Again, trying to minimize the knees as much as possible. And when you've had enough of that, you can smooth out your motion. Just moving the hips, oiling up those joints, making them nice and juicy. When you're ready, we'll come to stillness. Shaking out those arms, we'll come to a nice big T. And then we'll just make big circles in those shoulder blades. Nice big arm circles. I can get on my knees. Nice big arm circles. And when you're ready, you can go the opposite way with them. Nice giant circles. I know, I'm so scared. Let's see what else I've done. All right, and when you're ready to come to stillness, come back in that mountain pose, lifting up in those arches, feeling nice and secure here. Pulling up on that string connecting the top of your head, really feeling space between the vertebrae in your spine. Nice gentle bend in the knees. And on your next inhale, we'll lift the arms above your head. Imagine you're holding a nice beach ball in your hands. Breathing here, pressing on that beach ball. Kind of let it behind you a little bit, shine that chest towards the ceiling. And when you're ready, we're going to exhale to fold forward, press that beach ball into the ground till it pops. On your next inhale, place the hands on the shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, fold forward, plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Lower your knees, chest and chin, go through your vinyasa, come up for an upward facing dog or low cobra. And press back into a down dog. Nice deep breath in downward facing dog. On your next exhale, you can hop or step, so you're in a forward fold at the front of the mat. On your next inhale, you can place your hands on your shins, nice long flat back. Exhale to fold forward. And on your inhale, gently roll up to stand. We'll do 4 more of those as soon as I have a drink of water. All right. Standing in mountain pose, lifting up in those arches. Lift that beach ball into the air. Bring it behind you. Feel that stretch in your intercostals and your ribs. Feel them stick out when they're not supposed to. And when you're ready, press that beach ball down into the mat until it pops. Lifting the hands onto the shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Work through your vinyasa, lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, pressing back to down dog. Nice deep breath in downward facing dog. And your next exhale will hop or step forward. So you're in a forward fold at the front of the mat. Inhaling your hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhaling to fold forward. And inhaling to gently roll up to stand. Beautiful. Nice deep breath here. Inhale through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. Flutter out through the mouth if you'd like. All right. 3 more like that. Lifting that beach ball into the air. Shining that chest towards the ceiling. Exhaling, pressing that ball into the ground. Inhale, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, folding forward, plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Work through your vinyasa, lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog, and exhale back for down dog. Nice deep breath in downward facing dog. On your exhale, you can hop or step forward, turn a forward fold at the front of the mat. Inhaling, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhaling to fold forward. And inhaling to gently roll up to stand. Standing in mountain pose at the front of the mat. Inhaling your arms above your head, holding that big beach ball. Exhale, pressing it into the mat. Inhale, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, folding forward, plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Work through your vinyasa, lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, pressing back to down dog. Deep breath in down dog. On your next exhale, you can hop or step forward to a forward fold at the front of the mat. On your next inhale, you can place your hands on your shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, folding forward. And it gently rolling all the way up to stand. One more like that. I guess. Standing in mountain pose at the front of the mat. Gently lift your arms into the air, holding that giant beach ball, shining that chest forward. We'll exhale, push that beach ball into the mat. Inhale, hands on shins, nice long flat back. Exhale, folding forward, plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Work through your vinyasa or lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog. And exhaling back to down dog. Breathing in downward facing dog. On your next exhale, you can hop or step forward, turn a forward fold at the front of the mat. On your next inhale, you can place your hands on your shins. Gently fold forward and roll all the way up to a standing pose. Woohoo! All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Standing in mountain pose at the front of the mat. Lifting up in those arches. We're gonna lift our arms into the air. You can still hold on to that beach ball. This time, close those ribs. Make sure all those all those muscles are nice and tight. We're gonna lower the knees. Yeah. We're gonna lower the knees and come forward to chair pose. Oh, we didn't do cat cows. That's the problem. That's the problem. I know that. All right, cool. Hi. I know. Breathe right there. Hi. On your next exhale, we're gonna fold forward. Plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog. Then press back to down dog. On your next inhale, lift the right leg into the air. Whoops, that's a table. Three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, swing that foot forward. Help it if you need to. From here, get into a nice, sturdy, low lunge. We'll rotate that back heel down. We'll make sure the front knee's at a right angle. Just hang out here for a minute. Really feel nice and comfortable in this position. We're going to bring that back heel up into the air. Bring that knee down. So we have a nice right angle in both knees. Your knee that's on the mat, pull it towards your heel and your heel towards your mat for stability. Gonna really feel tension in between this heel and knee as you press up into your pose. I'm sorry. Bringing your arms into the air from here. See if you can do a nice gentle back bend by gazing up at your thumbs. Maybe you feel the stretch in the upper thigh here. From here, you can exhale, frame that front foot. Tuck your back toes under. We'll kick that front foot up to meet the back foot up to meet the front a little closer, just so that both heels are on the mat. You can reach for blocks here if that helps. We're looking for a runner's stretch. We're gonna feel the forehead reaching towards that shin. Maybe you can feel a stretch in the back of the front thigh. From here, you can kick that back foot back and rotate your heel down. If you still have blocks in your hands, even better to really get into that position. Can you feel the same tension between your heels pulling towards each other as you press your feet into the mat and lift your body up for a warrior one? Nice, strong, sturdy warrior one. Exhale your arms behind you, interlace your hands back behind your back, and come down into a humble warrior. On your next inhale, we'll press back up into warrior one. Exhale to frame that front foot, kick the front foot back to meet the back, downward facing dog. From here, we'll roll forward to plank, lower your knees, chest and chin. Inhale for low cobra, upward facing dog, and press back to down dog. Lifting that left leg into the air, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knees, swing that foot forward, help it if you need to. We'll come into our nice, sturdy, low lunge here. Right, there's that heel down if you'd like. But we will rotate it back up and come down to that knee. Again, see if you can feel that tension between your knee and your heel pulling towards each other as you press the mat away from you and come up into the air. You can gaze at your thumbs for a gentle back bend here. And hopefully you feel a gentle stretch in the front of that back thigh. Exhaling to frame that front foot. Kick that back foot up to meet the front. About 12 to 18 inches. Whatever you need to do to get both heels onto the mat. From here, we're gonna reach towards the shin with our forehead. And if I had a hook, I would bring your front hip backward in space. On your next exhale, you can come back into your nice sturdy low lunge. The right angle in that front knee. Press the mat away from you and come into a nice sturdy warrior one. Breathing here. Exhaling, weird thumb on top this time, interlacing those hands behind your back and coming down to humble warrior. On your next inhale, bring your arms back up to warrior one. Exhale to frame that front foot, kick that front foot back to meet the back, downward facing dog. Rolling forward to plank, going through your vinyasa or lowering your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling for low cobra, upward facing dog, and pressing back to down dog. Deep breaths in down dog or child's pose, whichever is more restful. On your next exhale, you can hop or step forwards in a forward fold at the front of the mat. On your next inhale, you can gently roll up to stand. And release your arms to either side. All right. Standing in mountain pose at the front of the mat, lifting up in those arches, feeling a nice tall spine, relaxing your arms to either side. Inhale, lifting your arms into the air. Exhale, coming into a chair pose. Breathing here in chair, nice and deep. Exhaling down. Planting your hands and stepping back to a plank pose. Lowering your knees, chest, and chin, or going through your vinyasa, inhaling for a low cobra or upward facing dog, and exhaling, pressing back to down dog. Inhaling the right leg into the air, three-legged dog. Exhaling, bending that knee, swinging your leg forward, helping it if you need to. We're going to rotate that back heel down. Again, feeling the tension between the two heels. Can you press the feet into the mat to lift your body into warrior one? Can you exhale down to humble warrior? Can you inhale up for warrior two? From here, can you bring your front palm forward and then back to reverse your warrior? Give that knee a nice gentle break. We'll come forward and then down for triangle pose. On your next inhale, we'll go into warrior two. And then exhale down to side angle pose. On your next exhale, we'll frame that front foot, kick that front foot back to meet the back, downward facing dog. Rolling forward to plank pose, work through your vinyasa or lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale back to down. On your next inhale, bring the right leg into the air, three-legged dog. Nope, left leg. Left leg into the air, three-legged dog. Bend your knee. Bring that foot forward, help it if you need to. Come into a nice, sturdy, low lunge. From here, we'll go ahead and inhale up for our warrior one. Exhale down, weird thumb on top for a humble warrior. On your next inhale, we'll come up for warrior one and out for warrior two. On your next inhale, we'll lift the palm into the air to reverse your warrior. We can give that knee a rest. We'll lean, excuse me, forward and then down. Triangle pose. On your next inhale, we'll come back to our warrior two and down to our side angle pose. Exhale, frame that front foot, kick that front foot back to meet the back, downward facing dog. Rolling forward to plank pose, lowering your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, pressing back to down dog. Breathing in down dog or child's pose. On your next exhale, hop or step forwards or forward fold at the front of the mat. On your next inhale, gently roll up to stand. All right, and more water. I wish you guys could see the dirty look my dog is giving me. All right. Breathing here. Lifting the arms into the air for Urdhva Hastasana. We're gonna bend the knees and come into our chair pose. From here, we're gonna bring the hands to heart center. Feel free to heel toe those feet together if that's more comfortable for you, but we're gonna hook one elbow around the knee and come into a chair pose twist. Inhaling back to chair pose, exhale, twisting to the other side. On your next inhale, come back to your chair pose and then fold forward. Plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra, upward facing dog. And press back to down dog. On your next inhale, lift the right leg into the air, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knees, swing the foot forward, help it if you need to. Come into that nice, sturdy, low lunge. From here, we'll press up to our warrior one. We'll come down to our humble warrior. We'll come up to our warrior one. Out to our warrior two. Back to reverse our warrior. Forward and down for triangle. Up for warrior two. And down for side angle pose. Rotate to frame that front foot, kick that front foot back to meet the back, downward facing dog. Rolling forward to plank pose, lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat, inhale for a low cobra or upward facing dog, and exhale back to down dog. Breathing in down dog. On your next inhale, we're going to lift the left leg into the air, three-legged dog. Bend your knees, swing that foot forward. Help it if you need to. You're going to come into a nice, sturdy, low lunge here. Gluing that back edge of that back foot down, feeling that tension between the heels. Pressing into the mat to lift the body up. Warrior one. Coming down, weird thumb on top, humble warrior. Inhaling up for warrior one. Exhaling out for warrior two. Inhaling forward, back. Reverse your warrior. Giving that knee a rest, coming forward and down for triangle pose. Inhaling back up to warrior two. And exhaling down to side angle pose. Framing that front foot, kicking that front foot back to meet the back, downward facing dog. Rolling forward to plank. Going through your vinyasa, lowering your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling for a low cobra or upward facing dog. And pressing back to down dog. Breathing here. And your next exhale, you can hop or step forward. So you're gonna forward fold at the front of the mat. Breathing here. Raising up back to mountain pose. All right. Sorry, emergency. Okay. Back to you. Where are we? 6:25. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. Hello, Trey. I know. No, you got a half hour, buddy. I know, you're a good boy. Standing in mountain pose at the front of the mat, lifting your arms into the air for Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling into chair pose. Trying to sit that butt down on a chair. Exhale to fold forward, plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhale for a low cobra, upward facing dog, and press back to down dog. Breathing here in downward facing dog. And your next inhale will lift the right leg into the air, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knees, swing the foot forward, help it if you need to. Rotate that back heel down, really pressing into the mat with your feet, gluing the outer edge of that back foot to the ground. Pressing down into the mat to lift your body up, coming into warrior one. Down into humble warrior. Up to warrior one. Out to warrior two. Forward and back to reverse your warrior. Give that knee a rest, come forward and down for triangle pose. Coming back up to warrior two, and then exhaling down to side angle pose. From here, we're gonna rotate those arms down and come into a wide-legged forward fold. You can adjust your feet so that they're parallel. Yes, I know it's so terrible when I do this. Okay. You can walk your fingertips back behind you for a deeper stretch. Walk your fingertips back to the center. And let's gently walk over to the right side. Bringing both hands to your ankle, to your foot, or just to the mat. And when you're ready, we'll gently walk our hands over to the other side. Again, reaching for the foot, the ankle, or the mat. Walking back to the center. We're gonna rotate back and frame that front foot. Kick that front foot back to meet the back to your downward facing dog. Rolling forward to plank. Lowering your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling for a low cobra, upward facing dog. And pressing back to down dog. Lifting that left leg into the air, three-legged dog, bending the knee, bringing that foot forward, helping it if you need to. Rotating that back heel down, pressing into the ground to lift the body up to warrior one. Exhale, down to humble warrior. Inhaling up for warrior one. Exhaling out for warrior two. Inhaling forward and back to reverse your warrior. Exhaling out for triangle. Inhaling up for warrior one and exhaling down for side angle pose. From here, we can come into our wide-legged forward fold again, but this time we're just gonna heel toe the legs together and come into whatever comfortable squat, whatever a comfortable squat means to you. When you're ready, you can place your hands on the mat, bring that bum back into the air, come back so you're in your downward facing dog at your mat. When you're ready, we'll roll forward to plank, lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat, inhale for a low cobra, upward facing dog, and pressing back to down. Nice deep breath in downward facing dog. Your next exhale, you can hop or step forward through the forward fold at the front of the mat. On your next inhale, you can gently roll up to stand. While we're standing in mountain pose, let's do some balancing poses. We can do tree or crow, whatever you're comfortable with. If you're doing tree, you can take your ankle, heel to your ankle. You can take your foot to your calf, or you can press your heel into your thigh, as long as your feet are not touching your knees, you're fine. And when you're ready, your hands can be on your waist at heart center, branches blowing in the breeze. We'll get about 8 to 10 good breaths here. If you fall out of the tree, just come right back in. When you're ready, you can release your foot from your leg, rotate that leg forward, and stretch your foot up in the air, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit higher, and then let it go. If you're anything like me, your standing leg is burning, so you can give a little massage to that outer muscle of that standing leg. Maybe give yourself a little ankle twist, maybe a little kick out, maybe a little shake out. Then we'll come to the four corners of the other feet. Again, kickstanding that ankle to the heel, heel to the ankle, pressing that foot against the calf, or pressing that heel to the inner thigh. Hands can be at heart center, or branches blowing in the breeze, or on your hips, or anywhere. From here, you can release your foot from your leg. You can bring that knee out in front. Maybe stretch your leg out, maybe a little higher, maybe a little higher, maybe a little higher, and let it go. Give that standing outer massage on that standing leg a nice outer muscle, a massage. Give your leg a little shake out. You can do a little couple calf raises, that might help. All right. And then coming back to the front of the mat in mountain pose, lifting in those arches of your feet. We're gonna lift up into the air. You can hold that giant beach ball again. Exhale, fold forward, pressing that beach ball into the ground, planting the hands down, stepping back to plank pose. Optional vinyasa here. Lower your knees, chest and chin to the mat. Inhaling for a low cobra, upward facing dog, and pressing back to down dog. Lifting that right leg into the air, three-legged dog. Bending that knee, bringing that foot forward on the outside of your hands for lizard pose. Hand, foot, lizard pose. Tilting forward in that tailbone, tuck, tilt. Standing here for lizard, you can of course drop that back knee. You can bring your forearms to the mat. You can bring your forearms to a block. It makes you feel nice and oozy. Oozy. Remove any block, support you may have. Bring that back leg up. We'll lift that right leg into the air again for a nice three-legged dog. This time we'll bend that knee and bring that shin forward, setting up for pigeon pose. Yourself nice and comfortable, lifting that chest into the air and folding forward. On your next inhale, you can lift your head, neck, and chest into the air and come into a tabletop pose. Give your hip a little shake back and forth. We'll tuck the toes under and come into downward facing dog. Lifting that left leg into the air, three-legged dog, bending the knees, swing that foot forward, help it if you need to. On the outside of the hands, so your hand, foot. Coming into lizard pose, option to drop that back knee down, bring your forearms to the mat, bring your forearms to a block. Just to feel nice and gooey here. When you're ready, we'll tuck that back toe under, lift that knee, kick that foot back. So we're back in downward facing dog. Lift that leg into the air again for three-legged dog. Bend your knee and swing that shin forward for pigeon pose. Lifting that chest in the air, then coming down to the mat. Breathing here. On your next inhale, you can lift your head, neck, and chest up in the air and come into a nice tabletop pose. Give your hips a little shake, back and forth. Yes, you're a good boy. Yes, you're a very good boy. Go ahead and give yourself the opportunity, because we didn't do cat cows earlier, give yourself the opportunity now to just do a few rounds of cat cow. So you can feel that nice rounding in the spine, even though we've done a lot of our vinyasas already. When you feel good about those, you can come to just come lying down on your back. Meet me on your back, bend your knees, and windshield wiper them back and forth. When you're ready, we'll hug the knees into the chest, nice and tight. Again, just going back and forth, rocking a little bit, giving yourself a massage. You can bring your knees into little circles. That'll give you a nice low back massage. And when you're ready, we'll drop the legs back down to the mat so you can just about graze your heels with your fingertips. We'll prepare for our, I've forgotten all names of everything. We'll just prepare with a few of our tilts and tucks of our pelvis here. Really just feeling the sacrum kind of massage along the mat. Maybe rolling it up and then rolling it down. Yes, I know. It's so unfair. And when you've had enough of those, go ahead and roll that pelvis all the way into the air. Option to tuck the shoulder blades underneath. Maybe you want to interlace your hands behind you. Get 3 to 5 good breaths here. On your next exhale, you can release your hands, release your shoulder blades, release your spine back to the mat. Maybe give your knees a windshield wiper back and forth. And when you're ready, lifting that pelvis up into the air again, followed by the spine. Option to bring your shoulder blades behind you and interlace your hands back behind your back. And 3 to 5 good breaths here. On your next exhale, you can release your arms, release your shoulders, release your spine back down to the mat. And windshield wiper out your legs a few times. And when you're ready to come back to stillness, we'll lift the pelvis into the air one more time, bringing that spine off the mat. Option to bring those shoulder blades back behind you and interlace the hands. 3 to 5 good breaths here. And when you're ready, release your hands, release your shoulder, bring that spine back down to the mat. Windshield wiper those knees out back and forth. This time we'll hug the knees into the chest nice and tight and then drop them down to one side for a gentle twist. Your hands can be in cartoon cactus arms. They can be straight out to the side. You can have one on your knees to help you twist. Your gaze can be towards the ceiling or over your opposite shoulder. Next, inhale, bring your knees to the center, nice and tight, and then drop them down to the other side. Coming into your gentle twist on the opposite side. On your next inhale, you can come back to center. Oh my God. And we'll windshield wiper the knees back and forth a few times. Are you done? Okay. Go ahead and bring the bottoms of the feet together like we had before, in like a butterfly stance. Again, your feet can be like 3 to 5 to 7 fist distance away from you, whatever's most comfortable. From here, check in with your pelvis. See where's most comfortable here, tilting or tucking it. You can support your legs with your hands or with blocks or a blanket. This does become quite an intense stretch towards the, hello puppy, towards where your legs meet your crotch. Hello. You just breathe here in Supta Baddha Konasana, which is reclined goddess position. You have your hands supporting your thighs. Just press your thighs together about an inch. No closer. And maybe another inch. Maybe you feel a little bit of shaking, a little bit of release of the muscles here, a little release of the tension. The goal here is to get your legs to shake. So if you want to just gently raise those knees up slowly until you feel some intense shaking in your thighs and calves. This is a great way to release any tension or soreness in your leg muscles. It's called TRE shaking. And if you're not comfortable with shaking, or you're done, or it's too much for you, you can just straighten your legs out and it should all go away. If you're interested in it, the closer you get your legs together, the more intense the shaking may become. When you're ready, you can just straighten those legs out. Come into a nice gentle inversion, whatever that means to you. It can be legs up the wall. It can be a nice block under your sacrum. Lift your legs in the air, legs up the furniture, support a shoulder stand. You could lift your whole body up, supporting yourself with your hands. Whatever you prefer. Just get a little slightly different perspective. Bring your legs down, remove any props you may have. I'm just gonna come into a nice, gentle, happy baby, clutching the inner insoles of your feet, maybe rocking back and forth. Maybe stretching as we did in the beginning of class with bringing one leg in and one leg out. You can practice your pelvis tilt and tucks here in a very uncomfortable position. Find space in those back thighs by tilting that pelvis back. When you've had enough of that, go ahead and relax into your final resting pose. Let all your hard work seep into your muscles and bones. Begin to bring your awareness back to your breath and start to make small movements in your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, you can lay on one side using your arm as a pillow and take one breath in the fetal position. When you're ready, you can come up to a gentle seat and bring your hands to heart center. Here. And we'll close with 1 Om. Inhaling for Om. Oh. Namaste.